Welcome to the Wonk podcast. This week we talk to Rikky and Funkle from Gnar tapes. We'll discuss building a label, live streaming, and creating a network for fans. And we'll also get into their pilot for Comedy Central. A note on this episode. After we talk about Comedy Central, I asked them what was the craziest thing they've ever done on stage, and they get pretty detailed and graphic, so you've been warned. Did you guys all come from Oregon?
Yeah.
Isaac's from the Inland Empire, but he lived in Oregon. That's for years. That's how we met him.
You guys met him? How long ago was this? What year is this?
Like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
2008.
Dope.
Yeah.
And you guys started the tape stuff?
I started it, yeah. It was me first, yeah, in my basement in January 2008, yeah.
Why tapes?
Because they were cheap, and I could make more. I'm really into, like, packaging.
That's dope.
I love packaging. And, yeah, even if you go to, like, the old Gnar tapes blog spot, for, like, the first year, my entry posts are like, I made some more tapes. I don't really know what I'm doing. This is, it's, like, pretty funny. It was very, very basic. The first year was just me, and it was, I mean, everybody was kind of around. The music was still the same people, but it was, the first year was kind of me just, like, saying I had a tape label. And,
you would make the artwork for it and stuff?
Yeah,
or what?
yeah, and I still pretty much do, but it's become way more of a group thing.
How would you find the bands back then?
Mostly just Portland stuff, but I've always, even back then, I've always been in correspondence with international artists and stuff. I've always been into, like, weird people who just make music to make music, not, you know, like in a folk way, but not folk music, but just people.
Yeah.
Like, the coolest thing to me would be, like, if there was some guy who worked at a bodega, but he secretly made the coolest music in his apartment by himself, just for him and his friends. Like, that's the coolest thing in the world to me.
That's dope.
So I would just search out, like, weirdo stuff. And then a lot of, like, back then I was young, so I was just, like, a lot of other Portland bands, most of which are totally defunct now. But over the years, it's been a lot more, even kind of in the beginning, a lot of traveling with our bands, and then meeting other bands that we liked.
What was the reason for the move to LA?
Portland was just getting boring, kind of. We lived there our whole lives, and it was like there wasn't a whole lot going on. And at the time, we were coming down here and to specifically Orange County a lot when Burger Records was really, really going off. And let's say like 6 years ago, and we were down in Southern California like almost every month. Yeah. And it was we were just like, well, that's where our fan base is.
Right. And we were coming down to record a record in LA anyway. And so we were like, let's just move.
Portland's one of those towns that doesn't really have the size to, like, really ever maintain a scene. It, like, there's these little scenes that, like, kind of come and go over and over again.
Yeah. And
nothing really happens. Like, nothing really big has happened with any Portland music in a long, long, long time. You know, we're talking, like, Decemberists, you know what I mean? That was, like, you know, 14 years ago, 15 years ago. And then, like, before that was, like, Pavement. And most of those bands are, like, transplants anyway. We were all from Portland, went to David Douglas High School, the biggest high school in the state of Oregon. And there really isn't a ton of bands that are, like, from Oregon. Not even Dead Moon's from Oregon. And I mean, the Kingsmen, Louie, they went to our high school.
That's dope.
But, like, other than that, like, every Portland band that's ever had any kind of recognition isn't really from there. I'm sure there's some exceptions, but nothing that I really listen to. And I mean, it's a pretty diverse scene, a lot going on, but it's, like, just too small to, like, and it's too small towny to be
worldwide.
And
there's no worldwide reach.
Yeah, at least music. For food, definitely. It's a culinary town, but service industry, and Nike and Adidas.
Yeah. But we can make a lot of what we do work pretty much anywhere. But now we've, like, you know, we were developing that TV show, and, like, we're doing a lot of international tours, which would take us to LAX anyway. And
and
it's sunnier and nicer here.
Yeah, and they say that there is more artists and creative people living in the city of Los Angeles right now than any other time in any other city in the history of known humans. So more artists here in any city than any other time period. But it's that's exciting, and also it's just something. There's stuff to do, and there's more, like, because we do freelance stuff. There's more kind of better paying.
More work, yeah.
More work and better paying work. In Portland, you'd be like, maybe get one license from Wyden Kennedy for, like, a Nike commercial once, in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I mean, there's definitely, you know, there's industry in Portland, but now it's also like
it's totally different after we moved.
Yeah,
I guess to know I'm talking about a Portland that I knew that I haven't had any connection with that city in a long time. So.
Yeah, we went to Portland for that film festival.
Oh yeah, that's
Mega
right.
Summer Hit. It was pretty hip. I mean,
yeah,
it's very hip.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still hip. Like maybe that was we just got in a little pocket.
It's a lot of like people like straight out of college or college age go there to like similar types of people who live here too. A lot of people come back and forth between Portland, and it's like one of those towns where it's like, yeah, it's small, but the same people who go to New York and LA are there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just chilling.
Yeah.
So, I don't
It's
know.
beautiful.
Portugal the Man moved there.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
That band. So it's like
Portugal the band.
Portugal the Man. They have some like song that's on the radio all the time. And maybe they play like the halftime or NFL or something like that. Or like,
they have a few hit songs.
That's dope.
It's like it's like a hip party town that's in the woods, and there's nothing around it really going on. But Oregon's rad. I grew up camping and shit, so I love it. But
yeah,
we came to LA. Yeah, everything was going kind of. Everything we were doing at the time was here. So,
yeah.
And then we stayed because we had the store, and then the show started coming up, like Funkle said, and then
the show came up right when you guys moved to LA.
Pretty shortly after we got there.
It took like 3 years to make it. So
when you guys moved to LA, like what did you have to gear up? What did you have to like save up? How did you guys actually?
We kind of just went fancy free, and we were like, I was dating this girl who I had asked if we could stay with her while we were recording, and we ended up staying there for a long time,
8 months,
just like rent free pretty much, because they loved us, and so we were recording, and when we were at the time we're living in Portland at this place that we called Gnarnia it was a slum. I mean, it was a beautiful house. It was very cheap.
$800 a month
for the whole house.
And there's usually 5 to like 8 people living in it.
Yeah, so we were paying like each of us were paying like $150.
Yeah, so we were just like touring a lot, recording a lot. It was like what started like when Gnar tapes really started becoming like an internationally known boutique chic or super obscure label, you know.
Yeah, and is that 2012 or what is it?
2012.
Yeah, it's like
2000 late 2011 until like late 2013 was like when we.
For the first 4 years, we were just kind of like a Portland label, and like some bloggers knew about us, and we'd have some releases. But it was 2012 when it started getting on like bigger blogs, and more people started finding out, and our sales started getting. You know, that was like the first year we were like, oh, we did $20,000 on PayPal this year. You know, like,
oh shit.
We were like, what the fuck? You know, and so we just took it. That's when we started taking it seriously. That's also when I, quote unquote, quit my job at Stumptown Coffee. But I was really forced to. I was pretty much fired the day before a 5-week tour that I'd planned for months because I worked that job for 4 years. And in quality control, I was a laboratory technician. I did like science stuff with coffee.
Oh wow!
For this now Stumptown, everybody knows Stumptown Coffee.
Yeah.
They're huge now, and I was there when they got bought out by TSG, the Tax Liability Corporation in Delaware. Yeah. And they were just like the day before my tour, the lady from the high up lady at the office came down. She's like, "If you leave tomorrow on this tour, you're quitting." And they blocked my unemployment and everything. It was
wow.
Yeah, it was fucked. That's what happens when you
that's
bought
a cool
out by
like
corporate.
yeah, but you got to rip the Band-Aid off.
But that's and that was it. That I've been my own boss since then, May 2012.
12 it became your business.
Yeah.
Like there's no part-time work. I'm not working at a coffee place.
I mean, some people were. He was still doing Subway.
You personally.
I left Subway at the same time.
You did? Yeah.
So you guys both were Gnar tapes.
Isaac stayed for a while, I think.
Yeah.
That was Isaac who kept going for a while.
That makes sense. I mean,
but yeah, it was just because our rent was super cheap, and like we were fairly buzzing because people didn't know we were like starting to, you know, get more bands that were like kind of bigger, you know, and some of the other bands were starting to break a little bit in the blogs and shit. But yeah, and then like, we kept riding that. We were there for and then we 2 years we just did that. Like,
and when did you join Burger?
I get around then.
Yeah, around then was when we started being tight with Burger.
And did they come to you? Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, they had heard there was a song that I put out that was we had been like on each other's radars because we were both doing like the cassette thing, and
Audacity had been telling them about White Fang for years.
Yeah.
And then the memories had started popping off a little bit, and then people were telling them to check out the memories, and then Funkle made that Easter.
I had this Easter song, it was like a Christian pop song.
Satire.
Yeah, and
parody.
but you know, like tongue in cheek, but like one of my kind of elements of satire is just like not too tongue in cheek, just like kind of like making it sound legitimate. And yeah, they liked that. And so and Sean Borman of Burger, his dad is like a like singing minister, like is what he does. So that spoke to him. And he was like, yeah, it looks like we are on the same page, and I should have been listening to these people. And I'm sure they get that all the time, where people are like, you got to check this out. And
yeah, and then yeah, pretty much then we started getting tight with them.
So then they started putting out our cassettes, and like we started working together on co-released cassettes.
Mm-hmm. Called Gnarburger?
No, well, that was just like a slang term. The store Gnarburger, which was only the store we had for like 3.5 years. It was only called Gnarburger for like 2 of them. Or 2.5 years.
Okay.
And but Gnarburger was just like a slang term we used for like the burger for a long time had these pins that'd be like, I'm a burger boy, I'm a burger girl, or I'm a veggie burger, all these little burger pins, and then there was one like I'm a Gnarburger, and that was like what started that. And we were just doing split releases for a while, and then we were just like, we had a lot of like bands that we were all friends with, so and it was like it was a really cool time for a while of like a lot of festivals, a lot of big crowds and stuff, and then like people really started turning against guitar like pretty hard.
Or like if if they're still into guitar, like just like they're like, we're sick of these same old power chords. Like people are just like, you know,
yeah,
people's
attention
taste starts shifting.
Yeah, and it was cool. We were doing that for a while. Yeah, obviously, like Funkle was kind of saying earlier, we started recording the White Fang album. And that was like what really made us move down here. That was like, well, we're going to record that album anyway. Might as well just move to LA. And then when I think about it now, we didn't even put that much thought into it. It was kind of like it seems like a very obvious choice.
I mean, it was the obvious choice and a very serious thing that you know, we just kind of did it.
It was like we'd go down to LA and Orange County and play all these amazing shows with all these people we were becoming like super friends with. And we got to LA and it was like the same old fucks we knew from high school, who didn't even want to pay $5 to come into our show at the fucking Firkin Tavern. And then like 20 people would show up and it would just be like, can we go back to your house and just party and thrash? And it was like, that was cool, but it just got boring and like...
Yeah. You know, we'd come down here and like...
There's more people.
More
excitement. People were more stoked.
Lots of kids with like software engineer parents or doctor parents, and they have their own car and they'll come from miles away to see you play
and buy merch.
Yeah. And it was just better.
Yeah, it was like in Portland. It was like there's a really good record store scene, so we had all the stores were carrying our tapes, so that was cool.
Even after you moved.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah, and
dope.
Now it's kind of like we just haven't sent any up there, you know. But there's a really good record store scene in Portland. It's amazing. That's one thing that Portland has really cool with music. There's a lot of people who know about cool music.
Yeah,
there's not a ton of cool bands.
And we've only played in Portland like 3 times since we left, right?
Yep. Most of the Doug Fur Lounge.
Yeah, it's because like we would more, but just like the nature of booking the U.S. tours, it's like if you go up the West Coast, there's not really any easy path except for just coming right back down to like get out to the other sides of the...
Yeah, and we're kind of like, we've been holding off in Portland to really like, we want our next show there to be like
huge,
a bidding war between the venues, you know, like who's gonna get to host the White Fang show, you know.
And White Fang is the big band.
Well, it's hard to explain, but yeah, my thing, it's like Gnar Tapes is like Marvel Comics, and then White Fang is like X-Men, and each of us are our own superhero with solo projects: Free Weed, Uncle Funkle, Jerry Rogers, Totally You, and there's all those side comics going on about that. And then the Memories is like the Avengers, where there's like the guys from the X-Men or whatever, or whoever. X-Men even in the Avengers?
But they fuck with each other sometimes, yeah.
Wolverine was in Avengers.
The analogy I'm trying to make is that like there's all of White Fang is in the Memories, which is not an original thing. I'm the only original member of the Memories and White Fang. And
there's different encapsulations of both bands?
Oh yeah. There's been like 40 people.
Yeah, White Fang not so much, but yeah.
Well, if you count the 16 percussionists we've had over the years, and the violin players, and the Luke Fisher, and the piano player, and all that stuff, there's a lot of people. Well, the first White Fang release was a solo tape I did, and then it was a folk band. It was related to like Neutral Milk Hotel and like Beat Happening.
Cool.
And then White Fang has always kind of shifted whatever taste we were into at the time, and a lot of it was, I got into like noise rock for a while, like Japanese stuff and like grindcore, and then White Fang turned into like a really heavy, crazy noise improv band, and then over the years, it's shifted to a lot of genres. It's very, I think it's an experimental band. And then the Memories also now has Colleen Green as a full member. She's been in the band for years now. And then Lucas, this guy, Lucas Gorham, he has this project called Heaven. And he's just produced a new Fat Tony album, which has been everywhere. Rosario Dawson's in the new video for that.
Dope.
And so everybody in the Memories is also some solo people too. So our whole thing is kind of like a songwriters collective in various forms, and there's this like rotating family band style, and then that's more of the Memories thing. And the White Fang always kind of has like a solid lineup, but the Memories is kind of like whoever's around, you know.
Yeah, and White Fang is the Gnar guys, like Gnarnia.
Yeah,
it's the four of us. Yeah, it's and that's who runs. Like White Fang runs Gnar Tapes.
Yeah,
that's like on paper.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and in the and like in the TV show, they were like, oh, it's you guys are White Fang. And it's like, okay.
And White Fang's been around longer than Gnar Tapes. White Fang runs Gnar Tapes, and then the Memories are a project that Gnar Tapes is hosting, pretty much.
Yeah. White Fang plays slightly more exclusive shows on the nature that we have a higher demand, guaranteed demand price, and White Fang has been on more tours, I guess.
White Fang's also been kind of on like a semi-hiatus for like a few years. Like we haven't put out like a whole album in a while.
We got a new White Fang album coming out, an EP, I guess is what we're going to call it.
An EP, yeah. It's an EP that's coming out, yeah. That was leaked on cassette only like throughout the last year.
Yeah, it had like a soft release like
just a couple songs every once in a while.
Yeah, but there's going to have a ton of remixes too. There's some really funny stuff. There's one that sounds like more like a new country rap song, like that style of how you hear on the radio.
I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And
new music Friday, October 26th.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I
don't
give a fuck by White Fang.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, that's actually part of why we left the store. Was that was something we kind of moved into quickly because we could, and it was a great idea. But then it ended up just like being, we were just our time was like we were spread so thin, and it was.
Yeah, we were super ambitious, and like at that time too. When we think about it, it's like. We were in the battle with the neighbor all the time, and people like trying to get us evicted from there. So like when we got that store, it was like kind of us like a territorial, like we're taking this store so we have more control over this lot.
Yeah.
And that was another reason why we ended up not relinquishing it for so long, is because like, well, then somebody else is gonna move in here, and then they're gonna fuck up this situation. And then we were just one day we were just like, let's just fuck all this shit.
No, let's just leave this shit.
Go back to what we were good at, which is
making the music,
music and being artists and focusing on art. Now I'm able to it's like I'm on season 7 of my art. Like I finally started like binging on my I'm like fully back in my art. I'm like getting better than I've been at my art in my whole life, and better at music than I've ever been, like in my mind at least. So now we're here doing it full time instead of babysitting the store that we just lose money on every month. So yeah. And retail sucks, and selling stuff is weird. So it's like we have to sell stuff to survive. I'd rather just it be stuff that is cool.
Yeah.
And we still sell all the records that we sold in the store, but just online. And now everybody can buy them. And
you don't have that much overhead.
And fuck paying landlords in Los Angeles. Yeah. Suck my fucking fat nut, dude.
Yeah, I mean, now we are gearing up. We've been on that long hiatus, the Fang hiatus. As a matter of fact, we haven't put anything out new. We've done some tours, and we've done great tours, but like
mostly Europe.
Yeah, in terms of
we're slightly more popular.
Yeah, we're slightly more popular in Europe than we are in America, because they are still like definitely into big rock and power chords.
I would even say we're majorly more popular.
Yeah. And so now we have been on a hiatus ever since we had a shift in the lineup. We had like a main member of the band who had to leave, and that was like when we came here to record. We came with him, and he was on one of the primary members of the band on this last record that we did, and then we've just been kind of like for a while we like shifted up the lineup
a few times,
and like
Ben Katzman was in the band for a second,
and so it's like,
and then simultaneously the Memories was getting a lot of opportunities.
Yeah,
and
so it's like we were like
we're gonna focus on Memories for a while and just kind of let White Fang like percolate.
Yeah,
and now it's like
naturally figure out its thing, because it's not like, I mean, maybe if we were way bigger, we would have been like, oh shit, we have to figure something out. But
like the EP is gonna be coming out October 26th, but we're also working on the new album now, and I'm anticipating we'll be finished recording that probably by the end of the year, if not like towards the beginning of the next year, and that's gonna be really cool. I think the White Fang album is gonna be people are gonna be really stoked. It's gonna be really funny and really over the top, and
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's the hardcore part of it. That's the
Yeah.
hardcore part of you guys, huh?
There's when you hear the "I Don't Give a Fuck" tape, which a lot of people have, like "Big Silly Baby" is a fan favorite already. It's like we're giving into more of our like Ween obsession and just not focusing on any kind of being a genre band, and just each whatever song is its own genre, and just focus each song on like a different vibe.
Dope.
Like the "I Don't Give a Fuck" has like the "Big Silly Baby," which is like a Tom Jones mixed with like Night at the Roxbury kind of like dance song, and then there's like "Liquor Store," which is like a straight up like White Fang, like kind of like slow jam a little bit, and then there's like "Stay Out of My Room," which is like straight up like Limp Bizkit, NWA, or Public Enemy more, and then like "Beef Boy" is like Green Jelly and like some more weird like Primus or something, and then like Shit is like really like Suicidal Tendencies vibe, so it's all over the place.
Slightly kind of almost like Slayer, especially now with the Ben Katzman solo on it.
And
Metallica.
Yeah, and then we started the store in 2015, closed it last month, and then throughout, also one of the reasons why we didn't do anything is that on top of having the store and being spread thin, we made ourselves spread even more thin by doing the Gnar Tapes Network. And that became the main focus for that was like White Fang's albums for a while were pretty much the stream.
This was on YouTube, or what was it?
YouTube for a while. Now we've been banned off YouTube twice.
Banned off it?
Yeah.
Why?
For
just
once
like copyright strikes and shit.
Copyright once, and then this last one we have a thing called the weekly song and video challenge.
Dope.
And every week we choose a theme, and then our fans around the world make videos and send them to us, and we play them every week. And one of the week's themes was butts. And YouTube didn't like that.
Well, and they
do a lot of butt footage.
Also, they don't tell you why, mind you. They just like.
Was it your butt footage you guys posted,
and
or
fans.
the fact that you guys are making fans do it, even though they're not connected to it?
That's actually a good point, because they are really tender about this new Fosta Sesta. So like anything that can be interpreted as two people negotiating
a price for anything
sexual thing online, they're turned against. So maybe the fact that we were asking people to send us videos of their butts had something to do with it.
True, but now we're on Twitch all the time, and we used to do a stream pretty much every day of the week. We have a cooking show.
Yeah, 5 or 6 days a week was
with
like
Isaac.
thing.
Yeah, and then the Naryogi was a show, and now it's a monthly at
What's Naryogi?
Loki Naryoki.
Oh, Naryoki karaoke. Yeah.
Now it's a week or a monthly at Zebulon.
Is Naryoki on Twitch?
We don't stream it, although that would be fun if people were down.
I'd be down.
I think we should bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, there's no internet situation there really.
No, I mean we should like here, like how we used to do.
Yeah, but then that gets the most copyright strikes of all. Twitch.
Yeah, true.
Twitch gets a lot of copyright.
I don't know if Twitch cares as much.
Twitch is not so much as YouTube, but they still like it says in their terms.
Yeah, now we kind of want to push Naryoki as actual like a live event type situation.
It's better that way.
It's more fun that way. And then we have the paranormal show, Paranormal. We would have like a topic of the week, and we talk about it and have some callers and play some stuff. And it was actually one of those episodes where Isaac, in poor judgment, played a BBC direct from their channel clip, which is just
It was.
Was it a third party?
It was a third party.
But anyway, BBC is just one of the more risky ones to do. And instead of just some random paranormal dudes where we try to shout them out, be like, thanks to blah blah blah, follow his channel. But BBC doesn't care about that. And that one we kind of stopped doing, but we might bring that one back too because people really like it. We just for a while we were kind of focusing more on our donation-based, sale-based shows because we really were hurting for the scratch.
Yeah. For
quite a while, and that was, I mean, obviously one of the big reasons why we moved was to not to worry about money so much. And then now for the whole time we've been doing our Wednesday night streams. It's kind of our wheelhouse show. Like that's like variety. We do a lot of music and raffles and. It's like it started. We were doing it in Hollywood at the old Meltdown Comics and the XSN over there. We were doing it there first, and that was like on their Extreme Shopping Network.
Yeah.
And we did that for like a year before we got dropped.
Yeah, like maybe even a year and a half.
Because they started working with like.
I think we were actually really close to 2 years.
Yeah, and they were like their like sponsors were like, we only want to focus on like the big names, not the.
That's why you got dropped.
We were like Wayne's World on there. You know what I mean? We were like the late night weirdo show. We weren't doing nearly as many sales as any of their other shows were doing. So. But then when they dropped us, we started the Gnar Tapes Network.
I think they were starting to get plenty of complaints about the smell of weed that we were creating in the spot too.
That's cool.
Yeah. and people puking and shit. And,
Yeah, we're problems.
yeah, and,
You guys were above and beyond
rules.
more than whatever they wanted.
Yeah. Well, and I mean the main guy, the guy who was like
So down with us.
He was like super down with us. Yeah, the main producer guy. But then he had the people that were higher up than him that were like the money.
And he was actually instrumental in us setting up the Gnar Tapes network because he taught us everything that we needed to fill the gaps.
I mean, pretty much immediately, when we first started doing the show with them, they had a whole team of like, there was like the graphics guy and the guy behind the TriCaster machine, and then they all dropped off pretty quick. They're like, this show is wacky as fuck, and then it was like, oh, we need. How about you get behind the sticks? And so I started being behind the sticks, and then I was like, when they dropped this, I was like, I've been behind the sticks long enough that I can just set this up. And I'm kind of the computer guy anyway, so yeah, he pretty much showed us how to do it. And then also because his thing was an online shopping network, that kind of our introduction to streaming at all was from a commerce standpoint. So
yes,
we continued with that.
And then when we started doing the Gnar Tapes network, for the first like year, we were fucking making a lot of scratch. We was like $200 guaranteed every Wednesday at least, and then like one time on the cooking show we did like $700, like shit like that. It was like really going off really hard for a while, but then we just had so much content that it really dropped off.
Yeah.
And then also just like the momentum would die a lot from our tours that we would do, and then we started just getting super overwhelmed with it all, and just kind of been like, it's the same shit all the time, and people are getting tired of it, and like and then also we weren't handling our mail orders as well then, which we're just so much better at now. And because it was just, we were overwhelmed with all the work that we had. And then we started doing the Gnar Tapes weekly challenge, and that really got a lot more interaction. And it's kind of like right now we're still kind of pushing to get more people. A lot of it has to do with people aren't as ready to watch Twitch as they were on just going onto YouTube.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you have to download Twitch and create an account, and a lot of people are just kind of like, you can just get on YouTube and watch a live stream.
It's only on Twitch. You guys aren't going to go back to YouTube at all?
I want to, but it's like we have to wait like another month, and then we'll just see how many we get till they flag our account forever.
Yeah. Also, Twitch is like they're like hardcore, but Twitch is better. Like once you get to a certain status, they're like better about paying out advertising revenue because they put a lot of ads. So it's like that's a part of thing too where I'm like, we've been avoiding like partnering with Twitch, which is like a more official step that you take once your stream gets to a certain level, which we could do. We're eligible for that. And then I'm kind of conflicted because I don't know if we should do that, especially since one of their main rules is then we definitely can't be on YouTube as well. But then it's like they have all these ads. It's like I want a fucking piece of that, you know?
I think you hold out for YouTube, man. We're going back to YouTube.
Yeah.
I think the stream always seems to do better when we're on YouTube. Twitch is cool, and a lot of like my more like tech savvy friends like it, but I think it's too much. It's a little annoying.
YouTube is the ocean, man.
Yeah, I'm
all these other things are little streams for real.
Yeah,
we were on Vimeo forever.
Yeah.
Twitch is a little harder too because Twitch is majorly a video game network.
Yeah.
So it's like, we still get like a good amount, but it's like, no, it's so much more of a pain in the ass for people to get on there and like find it and shit. Like, so.
What do you guys do to prep for the weekly show? Like, when does it start? Does it start the Thursday after the last Wednesday?
It depends on what's going on. I have like a little like a checklist of the usually we depending on what we have going on, if we have certain guests, and we've kind of gotten just into a flow of it. But now we've recently started doing like kind of like there's a schedule of different things that we're doing. That way, instead of like just so much like we're asking for money, and if we get to a certain amount of money, we'll start doing a different thing. It's like more of like a time-based kind of incentives, and then we still have certain monetary incentives that we do. But yeah, it's basically just like okay, make sure I have the assets like we do like Gnar libs, which is like a Mad Libs thing every week. So it's like I make sure I find a new one for this week and put the link in my little spreadsheet.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these little things we do, but in terms of the Gnar Tapes weekly song and video challenge that we do, which is kind of like one of the more main things that we're doing, is every Tuesday we play everybody's videos that they have submitted from the challenge theme the week before, and at the end of the episode me and Jimmy play our solo bands each have a video for the theme
next week.
Yeah, and that's how we announce it. And then so me and Jimmy always had to be like a week ahead.
Yeah.
And then like right now, everybody's working on their weed songs. It's all weed themed. And then for week 17, and then but week 18, nobody knows, but it's the Misfits. And then we would say we've done like Beatles and Ramones, and we would say covers, but now we're just saying the band, and you can just write a song about the band too if you want, or a song in the style of that band.
Yeah.
You know. And so I have to record that. So usually to prep for a stream, I have to like record a song, record a music video, edit it, and then post it, and then at the same time collect everybody's videos they're sending and make a playlist, get that together, and then I usually have like on top of Funkle what he's doing of making the schedule with the Mad Libs, and then we would like read Bible verses and make fun of them, and then like read the news and all this shit. We also do a raffle karaoke system that we do, so it's like the first unlock will be $25. We have like a daily goal, $300.
Yeah.
And we add every money that gets sent, we add it to the total that's on the screen. After $25, then we pull a raffle, so we get a free cassette. So everybody who spent $5 or more, each $5 or more you send gets you a raffle ticket in. Pull out, get a cassette, and then the more we get, sometimes the raffles get better. Like now it's a free T-shirt, or now it's a free record, or now and if we get out to 300, it's gonna be a free. We'll write a song for you, like that kind of thing. And then every like $50, it'll be. Now we're gonna do a karaoke, and we used to do like, okay, what musician's birthday is it? And then we'd like pick and we do songs from that. But now we've been doing also a raffle where I put a bunch of band names in it, and then we shake it up, and then we pull a band name out, and then we pick a song on karaoke to do then. And so it's $25 raffle, 50 karaoke,
That's awesome.
75 raffle, 100 karaoke, 125 raffle.
Is this all calendared out? Like, do you have these?
It's on the site usually when it's. I mean, like, what do you mean, like?
Just in general, like this network, this like, what you're talking about?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
what the music video is going to be after the Misfits? Do you know like what the?
I kind of try not to do it too far ahead because I like to keep it topical. Or like keep it like fresh and like think about what people are into and see how the last one did and kind of react to that one. And I also try to keep in mind what's going to make a good video and easier for people to do, get more creative with. But I try not to think about it too much, though I do keep in mind what kind of holiday seasons are around and things like that. But no, I kind of just make it up like the week before, you know. Yeah. Me and Jimmy will agree on something, or typically it's been me, and I'll see if Jimmy thinks that's cool, and then we'll go for it. And and then we don't even plan our episodes too far ahead either, because we also accept a lot of show deals. Like tonight we have to go play a memory show. And tomorrow, so our usual Tuesday and Wednesday night streams aren't going to be happening. We're catching up on Thursday.
Okay, and you told them.
Yeah, we have a Discord chat that everybody kind of is on, and there's a little community, and they talk.
So you could talk to your fans any time of day.
Yeah, directly. Yeah,
because of Twitch.
Because of Discord. There's a Discord chat. You can have private chat rooms that are like where you people.
How many people do you have in your Discord?
I think there's like 30 in there right now, or something like that. Not a ton, but we have only just started recently. Me like giving out the code more openly.
Oh, you don't want to?
Because for a while we were inundated with like alt-right internet trolls that were like,
that completely fell off.
Yeah, raiding our streams, like 125 downvotes in like 2 seconds, kind of shit.
Jeez.
Like, you know, and then just saying the most heinous racist shit and stuff like that, just like 11-year-olds.
Yeah, for fun.
Yeah, you know, edgelords. But they died off pretty hard. But they were there for a while, and that's where we started doing the Discord, was to like have a separate chat where there was no bullshit.
That's cool.
But now it's just become like a place. There's like different categories. People post memes, and like people put like links to songs and show each other. And then there's also a separate thread on there too for people just to post their videos straight there. And that's where I go get them and then add them to the playlist.
That's dope.
But like next week we have Sean from next Wednesday we have Sean from Burger Records as a guest.
Oh, that's cool.
We used to have a lot more guests, and that's usually when we get more followers. We're just because we've been so spread thin for so long. We haven't even had the chance to even think about.
Kyle was on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We need to get more guests now. That's like a guest with social media followings. That's how we get more followers.
Yeah, maybe we can do like a
Wonk.
You come to the Wonk podcast, then you go to the fucking Gnar network.
Yeah.
I'm getting like a bunch of people, so it's like
yeah.
We definitely would love to have all you guys on.
Yeah.
We do a lot of music stuff too. So.
That's dope. So let's talk about the TV show. So that was happening right when you moved to LA.
Kind of.
Yeah, it was like a year after we had moved out of about a
opened
year.
the store.
About a year after we had moved into the compound that we were in. It
was like a year and a half into moving to LA.
And definitely, a group of guys who hang out all the time are constantly saying, like, we should make a movie like this, or we should make a TV show like this. So something that we had definitely been interested in.
But we never were pursuing it at all. It totally was just something that fell into our lap.
Came into our lap. Actually, also from Burger, who the original production company that we signed with, 3 Point Stance, who they work with a lot of like sports brands and like they do commercials and music videos and stuff. They came to Burger Records originally, and Burger was pretty much like, we think it would be dumb if you come and make a show about us like on our laptops, but you should talk to Gnar Tapes because they're like wacky and funny. And
at that time we were partying a lot,
and they would probably appreciate this opportunity a lot more. Wow. Which is funny because we definitely did appreciate it a lot more, whereas Burger was like, no, we really don't like this idea. But yeah, then they came and met with us, and they were like, wow, we love this. And so then it was just like, from there on, it took a
couple sizzles,
so slow. Yeah,
another production company jumping on.
They made a sizzle. They pitched it around. Pretty much everyone said it was too controversial of an idea. And then they were like, well, our agency like hooked us up. Like they were like, we're trying to bring people on board, and like people who were like, we were like with the like head of development at WME for a while, and then he jumped ship because he got a new job at a different network. That he was like always had a boner for that network the whole time too, which was kind of funny. It's like, oh, so that's the reason why you wanted to pitch to this network so bad, is because you've been talking to about becoming an executive. But then like after the first sizzle kind of died off, they brought in this other production company, Custom Productions, and he really liked it. And then we had meetings with them, and after a while, he had the pretty serious interest from Comedy Central, who actually, I remember them being the most, like years before they even said yes to anything, had been in the episode of Idiot Sitter that Kyle directed. He invited us to be in that, and then
as yourselves,
as well as the Memories, pretty much. And we were like hippies and a band, and they needed a song, and Kyle pretty much insisted that he would use us, and then I had become I was close with Charlotte, and so like they invited us to go to the what do you call it, the rap party, and where they showed the first episode or whatever, and someone there was like, oh, you're from that Gnar project, huh? I'm at Comedy Central. And so it's like, oh, so he already knew. But at any rate, they had gotten the interest from Comedy Central, and then we had drummed up the idea of making them our own little video where Rikky and Isaac got these Comedy Central tattoos. And we just made this stupid video where like check out our tattoos. Like, you really got to buy our TV show. And then they eventually ordered the digital pilot. And actually, I think they only have a few weeks from now. I don't know what these weird execs keep their cards so close, but I think they only have a couple weeks to now make a decision if they're gonna order more or order a network pilot or pass or whatever they're gonna do. So it's really cool that like this long project is like coming to a head, and like now there's a pilot that we've shown people, and the response has been really positive.
Yeah,
because it took so fucking long. There was like a few different parts in the process where I was like, this is a joke, this isn't happening, is it? But it ended up being something cool.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, I've had no interest really in my life ever to like Jimmy and Funkle did like theater in high school, but I've always like wanted to be a music guy, and it's funny because like I'm way more successful at my artwork even too. Like there's so many things that always point me in my life that I maybe shouldn't even make. Yeah. That's not true, because I do like the music I make, and a lot of people do.
Yeah.
The few hundred people that buy, we still have records from like 10 years ago that haven't even sold the whole pressing out. So, but it was really cool, and it ended up being, after we did it, I was like, oh, this is fun. I could do this anytime.
Yeah.
And I've actually taken a lot of like little skit gigs for friends now, way more often than I would, just because it's more fun to me now, and I kind of like, I feel like
you're comfortable, bro.
I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And now the acting, a little bit goes a long way with like professional looking shit for your reel.
Yeah. And I recently had somebody who does a lot of TV stuff to mention to me I should do commercials.
Yeah.
Because of my fat guy mustache mullet look. But I don't drive. So I'm not gonna get to any of these auditions all the way. Fucking
Uber the cost of what do you get paid?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, see, that's like my whole vibe about it. It's like kind of like, they're like, okay, let's do this show, and I was kind of like, all right, you do it, and I'll just be here. And when you want me to do something, I'll do it. And then
they spent all the money on it. Like
we didn't drop
any
no
money.
hell no. And then
they paid us once the pilot was.
And even shout out to our lawyer, he got our pay like doubled because we were like, we want more. We need money.
And also like we really should have been pushing to have our own production company involved, because basically the contract that we were in for this pilot was that we were the star talent and we were producing all of this music. It was based loosely on our actual lives, and that we were giving them these exclusive license, or non-exclusive, but like pretty good licenses. It's like even just the licenses alone, if it was someone else's TV show, would have been worth a lot of money.
Do you guys have creator credit on it?
No, or we will have. Yes, actually, but
not for the pilot.
But not for this pilot. Yeah.
But if it gets picked up,
yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Dope. Do you guys help with the writing at all with that?
There really wasn't, kind of. The writing was pretty curvy. You know what I mean? Like, there was like a loose narrative.
Yeah, we didn't see a script once. We brought on a writer who we've worked with a lot, and he's actually a director and videographer that we've worked with on a handful of music videos and a short film that actually just got accepted into the London Short Film Festival called Gut Feeling by Nesto is this guy's name. But he had like a whole treatment that he had put together and a script that he put together, and then they combined the scripts of the production company people and like some stuff that we had sent them into this thing, and then they never even printed it and showed it to us. He just kind of, the director was like, so this is like where you start and the destination of each scene, and just go for it.
Wow, good job him.
Yeah.
He actually
did a great job.
Sit down and talk about this. And then he would just kind of watch us for a while and be like, oh, that was good, say that again.
Yeah.
Now say it a different way.
Steve Stockman is this guy's name. He was a great director.
Yeah, I guess he has a best-selling book on Amazon called How to Write a Pitch That Doesn't Suck.
Or How to Shoot Video That Doesn't Suck.
That's what it is, yeah. How to Shoot a Video That Doesn't Suck.
Yeah, I actually had read that book years before meeting him. I told him, I was like, I read your book. I got it at the library like years ago. And he was like, oh, I don't get any money when you do that.
That's funny.
I was like, that was kind of the point. That's why I went to the library.
Did you guys go to any pitches?
No, we weren't involved in any of the...
The production companies were, and they just showed you guys.
Yeah. We went to WME once.
Yeah, we went to a lot of meetings and like with people, but like the actual pitches with the network, no. And my guess is that part of that was that there was some like kind of built-in disincentive to that from the standpoint of them probably being like, these guys are dorks, huh? Like, look how stupid these guys are.
Yeah, they wanted to talk like hot shit about us. But I don't even give a fuck.
Who cares?
Like you're wild animals. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, totally.
I remember when I moved to town, I have a friend, he's a pro surfer, and I didn't really even know that at the time, but he had told a friend of ours, the guy who was producing our album, that he was like, can you imagine being White Fang and moving to LA? Just the most like shallow, image conscious city ever. It's like 4 Godzillas and sweatpants just like stomping around. And especially then too, we were just like all going out a lot. Now we've gotten fully on just like digging into the work and just writing and recording and making videos and shit. But there was a couple years where we were just like on the scene, the music scene, and everybody then now pretty much everybody from that time now is either sober or like sober or severely chilled out, or like gone to rehab a few times.
It
was a wild time for a minute there. It was like people, I was like, you're going to rehab for what? Like, I had no idea, dude. You were over here like every day. What the fuck were you? That was what you were doing in my bathroom, you fucking chunky dude. Glad you're getting help. But most of those people though have managed to stay clean and sober, a lot of them. Good for them. I don't need to do that. I'll have like a beer a week sometimes, and sometimes I'll have 100 beers a week. It just depends on the week.
Was there ever a show? What was like the most insane thing you guys did on stage ever? That you felt like, damn, this is
hard.
Crazy.
We played over 1,000 shows
as White Fang. And
that's just White Fang,
Wow.
And
I think that show in Vienna might be the craziest stage show we ever did.
We've had some wild ones. A lot of them I was pretty drunk.
Smashed. You get smashed sometimes when these crazy shows happen.
What did people tell you that you did?
I mean, the one where I tried to put Funkle's birthday in Vienna was pretty crazy. I did try to. The crowd was like screaming for me not to. They're like, no, No, but they were all laughing. But it was his birthday, and I was like trying to put a cigarette in his dick hole. I was like, I had his dick in my hand and balls. I've had his dick, like I wear his dick and balls, like a hat. I've done that on stage a lot. And
you're just sitting Indian style, and he's standing over you.
Funkle's drank a lot of our piss backstage, but never on stage.
Never on stage. That's true.
Because we're kind of respectful of people's venues. We don't because we used to be kind of unaware of ourselves. We broke a lot of stuff in our younger days, and we felt bad about it. So we kind of watch ourselves. We don't want to hurt people's stages too much.
Yeah.
Worst I've done, which I don't do anymore, was like shake my drink around. But Telegram Ballroom like banned us for a while because I spilled my beer on the stage. I hated it.
Oh.
But whatever, you just don't do this. But yeah, that was a pretty gnarly one. That one, a lot of like nudity stuff. There was a time in Italy where we were going on this tour, and these Italian shows were really, really rowdy. And I get completely naked, and there was one where I ran through the crowd, like picking people up, and then I ran outside to where everybody who was like out smoking cigarettes, not watching us, were. And then I ran out all naked, pretending to be confused in the street, like looking around, like what the f-? And everybody was like laughing, and those were really good. Like that one in Modena, where people like followed me out into the street and were that was wild. We like played this like in Modena, which is if you look at like bottles of balsamic vinegar and things you have, it's like it's Italian countryside.
Yeah.
And there's this like guy has this little like club out there. It's literally like, rural.
Wow.
They weren't going to get any noise complaints
at all. It was super rural, and it was wild party. And I ran out naked into the street, and the whole crowd came out and was like following me down the road, like
pictures,
taking pictures.
We're going streaking, bro.
Yeah, and so those were really good. We've had some like broken noses stuff, like in the early days
from you guys.
One time, me and Jimmy, there was one where we finished our set, looked at each other. My nose was broken, and blood all over my shirt, and then his drumstick had split in his hand, and his like snare drum was literally pooled with blood.
Because you headbutted it or what?
I accidentally headbutted somebody, and his hands had just split from the shitty drumsticks he had. They split on him when he's playing too hard, and that was like early though. And we've just.
I remember Jimmy one time he like passed out right after the show, like it was like super epic, like ending, and
just fell. Yeah.
At the end of the show, just dead.
Not even
like
like last note, and just fell.
Wow.
And
sleep on a snare.
I've had ones where it was like people have brought me like multiple times like a shot between like every song, and then I'm just completely. I wake up the next day, I'm like, was this show any good? And it was like, kinda,
Yeah.
And
the audience is
the
fueling.
audience loved it, but it was pretty sloppy, not something you'd want to like show like a potential buyer or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But maybe.
That's kind of like what you're doing on XSN, where it's like they give you some money, and then you'll give them a song or something like that, But instead, they were giving you fucking.
Yeah, we've done so much where we picked up random people out of the crowd and just pick them up and carry them onto the stage and like make them play the drummer or make them sing or something like that. And a lot of just improvising stuff. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We do a lot of that now too, where it's instead of it being like super chaotic and like scary for the crowd sometimes where we're grabbing them, it's like we'll switch around. Like I'll jump on the drums and Jimmy will sing and stuff like that. And we'll switch around instruments and just go for it.
And it still sounds pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's great. People will get into it. It's funny. Yeah. Because we're very, like, our whole thing that translates to the best people is like, oh, these guys are ridiculous and silly, but they're good. And it's ridiculous. And they're obviously, like, tight with each other.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are just like, that was, like, the dumbest thing I've seen, but you guys pulled it off because you guys are just, like, so funny and silly. And, like, because in rock music these days, it's just... so much seriousness and just like it's posturing and like fashion. Like everybody in a rock band now is a model, like a fucking somebody who was like a model that wants to be in a band now, and it's like that's like what you have to be, unless you're like us where we're like anti-models, and it's like funny, and like, so people they react well to that because it's like, oh, that's refreshing. It's like
I've had my fair share of like really high profile people being like speechless after like just like I can't believe what I've just seen. And that's cool. That's a great reaction. Like
it's raw, really, really raw band.
Yeah.
With White Fang, at least. With the Memories, a lot of it is like people really like those songs and sing. A lot of it's love songs. So it's like
it's beautiful.
Yeah, people love people. So it's cool. Some people will be like, "Why do you have both?" And it's just like, one, they weren't the same people to start off with. They were totally different franchises that just happened. Now they have the same players. You know, they're different teams.
Yeah.
That work for the same team.
Yeah. We
And
say,
different
why
vibes.
don't you have both?
Tones.
Yeah.
It's really cool how you guys, with everything, go back to the fans.
Yeah.
Seems like everything you're doing, it's like, how can we connect with the fans more?
That's true. I mean, it's the only way. That's the only, like Rikky said earlier, like his hundreds of fans, like you can really do well for yourself if you can cultivate the right group of, like, just think about Insane Clown Posse. It's like they don't have that many fans.
But the ones they do have.
But the ones that they do have will buy every fucking thing.
Have you ever been to an Insane Clown Posse show?
No.
It's the best thing in the world.
they're
I've gone and seen them multiple times. It's
great.
like you're at a place with a whole crowd of people, usually sold out pretty much every time, and they're there to see like the Beatles to them. Oh. So the energy is just off the chart. Everybody's pretty
people
much
screaming the lyrics before the show.
Everybody's like goosebumps right now. People are like in such a good mood, and like there's just you can't help but just be like into it because everybody's just like down.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Like,
It's
what's
beautiful.
wrong with me that I'm not into it as much as you are?
Yeah,
It's there.
And it's
And
like
then-
it's clowns rapping. Like it's you who are taking this too seriously if you can't enjoy this. Like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
it's
right.
you can enjoy it from so many levels. Like it'd be like, oh, this is. I've even brought friends out to it who are like I don't really like Insane Clown Posse, but that was a really sick show. It's
Yeah,
like they
they're
can't even
amazing.
admit,
Oh,
you know.
God.
So it's just like, but it's.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
it's some people they don't have time for music that isn't like right what they want. So it's
Well, yeah, and you think about how like there's not much middle ground with a group like that too. Like a lot of people fucking hate them, or they don't even know anything about it. And they're just like, this sucks. But it's like, well,
They changed my life. They
they've
made me
made-
think
yeah.
about music in such a different way. Like, I have no leash or anything. I can listen to anything I want to. I grew up listening to punk rock music, and like as a little kid, and I grew up in Section 8 housing, and music was everything to me. And once I started being able to listen to like not cool music, I'm way cooler than any of those fools. Like, everybody's a poser. If you really like music, then listen to all the music.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're just playing dress up, if your music has to match your clothes, then you're just. It might be cool, but it's not really my vibe. Like I don't mess with that. I don't like the posery fashion music stuff. It's saturating and like it's in the way of like what like back in the day, like music was made by ugly ass fools. Like, do you know who Steve Miller even looks like?
No, because he didn't put himself
And
on the
how
cover.
good how he wrote some of the best songs of all time.
Yeah. Wakeboarding music, it's the best.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody like Tom Petty thinks all the girls say he's hot now, but if Tom Petty was around, he's not. He's an ugly ass fool, dude. He looks like a weird like
a scarecrow.
He looks like a scarecrow. You read my fucking mind,
Yeah,
dude.
dude. It's because that's what he looks
like a
like.
scarecrow from Florida. Yeah. Fucking, yeah. So it's I don't know. We're kind of just like holding the torch for like ugly rocker.
I'm with you.
You know.
I mean, I'll be the ugly 90s R&B dude.
Yeah.
You guys need it.
See that we're on that shit too, though. That's the thing. It's like we're a part of all that. It's like we embrace going to the school dances and Casey and JoJo and just like like and Bone Thugs and all this other shit. It's like
Yeah.
I listen to rap more than anything else I listen to. Pretty much. It's like
I'm probably the exact opposite, but like I'm starting to get into like I
guess
was 90s R&B, and now I'm starting to get into like rock and fucking
hell yeah.
Bon Jovi. I was into for like a little bit because I think he's the greatest singer of all time.
Yeah, he's got something going on for sure.
I could sing like anybody else. I could pretty much mimic anybody else's
Yeah.
voice, but like
yeah, I remember a time we were playing at this college in Purchase, New York, and this kid was there. And he looked like he was a freshman in college. He was like 18. He was tiny, and he had a pristine Bon Jovi shirt on and a puka shell necklace, and he had like glasses and curly hair, and he was like had a Bon Jovi shirt on and like an unbuttoned plaid like button-up shirt. And I was like, dude, this guy has a fucking non-ironic Bon Jovi shirt on. And I was like, dude, nice shirt. He was like,
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like, and that was like, I've never forgot that. It was just like, that's what music should be. It's like you should be able to like any band you want to, and nobody should ever make you feel bad about listening to that kind of music. It's like you go on Tinder and it's like people are on there like, you better have the same type of music taste as me, and like all this sort of like, it's like, what is your like? Okay, good luck finding. Like, you're gonna repeat your same boyfriend over and over again, dude.
yeah, can treat you like shit over and over again.
Right.
Smoke some DMT. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like, and once you expand the like level of consciousness, like some shit that you thought was so fucking whack, like you could be like
yeah, and once you stop being
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, like would blow your fucking face off. Like,
yeah, and then once you stop worrying about dying and like worrying about death at all, then you really start getting on.
yeah, then you get to some cool
Is that what
music.
DMT does?
Well, I mean, it can. D&D does
Well,
it.
what are you talking about? How do you get to that point? I'm trying to get to that point.
Yeah, smoke some DMT.
Yeah. I felt like I smoked DMT on Saturday night all night, and then I took a dab of one at like 4 a.m, and I felt like it was the most psychedelic experience of my entire life. Everything. Michael Jackson sounded like Star Wars music, and it looked like I was in a spaceship, and I felt like I was in the lobby towards whatever's really going on.
Wow.
And you're like, you're almost there. It's just, I mean, it's all in your brain anyway, but it just goes to show you like.
But you were happy that you were almost there.
Oh
You
my
weren't
God.
I was like,
I could be dead right now. And death is nothing. Like my little brother died of cancer. Like also, it's like there's nothing to ever worry about. Everything in the universe is exactly what is supposed to be going on.
Have you ever been in one of those tanks where you're deprivation
No.
tanks?
No, I
try
really
that.
want to do one of those. Yeah, they're supposed to be pretty intense, but there's some ones here in the city apparently that are like really nice.
Damn, I'm scared I'll come out as a monkey.
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
What's that movie called? Altered States.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen
right.
Altered States?
No, I've heard of it.
See Altered
Oh,
States.
sick! Yes, it's
That's a
Halloween
good
time, so I'm only into like freaky shit right now. I'm only watching.
I
Like,
think that's a good Halloween movie.
oh yeah, anything that's like cerebral or anything. It doesn't have to be like even pirate movies. Like for me, hey, everybody's listening out there, you can watch Pirates of the Caribbean. That could be a Halloween movie. You know, dress up like
there's
a pirate.
a skull.
I'm considering being a pirate for Halloween this year.
Oh yeah. What is a pirate's favorite R&B singer? R. Kelly.
Thanks everybody for listening to the Wonk podcast. As always, like and subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Follow us on Instagram at Wonk Incorporated. On YouTube, Wonk Inc. Say what's up when you see us in the street. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.